Here we are for another episode of Beyond the Dash. With me, I have Brian Ruth. He's a haul road driver for off and on since '94.
Yep, since 1994.
The roads have changed
A lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually really like the changes. It's I like the hills. I like the challenges of the hills, but
You don't miss the old 25 mile.
it never bothered me going north. It was coming south.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. None of the hills really bother me that much, except for the knob. And I don't know why, because I've never had a...
Everyone has that one hill.
I feel like the consequences on the knob are worse than any other hill up there.
Yeah.
You know, the Koyukuk's steeper, but it's shorter. I think the steepest hill on the road is Prospect. It's just short.
I think so too.
It is. I'm telling you what. I wish, what are those things called? Are they altimeters or something where it'll tell you the degree?
Yeah.
I've always thought about it would be cool if you could put one of those on your door just to see truly how steep some of the hills are. Prospect Creek I've never had a problem on Prospect Creek.
Yeah, because you hit it really hard.
But I'll tell you what, pull a D10 up that thing like I did with a push truck, that is a steep hill.
This last trip, it was one lane down at the bottom.
Oh, really?
And you had to creep through it, call it out.
Right.
But you never know who you're going to meet who doesn't have a CB.
Right.
And coming up through it, I was not going nearly as quick as I could feel it.
Right.
You know,
It's steep.
Yeah, it's
It's
steep.
just short, so it's kind of deceiving.
Yeah, that and
But-
oil spill. Oil spill is actually 14% grade, I was told one time.
It's another one though. I mean, just like the ice cut, you can hit that thing on fire. You know, if you know the bottom. You know, I only go to Prudhoe once a week. You know, you guys are up there more than me because I spend more time running out of Valdez with a set. So I'll usually talk to somebody that I trust because I don't want to come around the corner and my front end wash out or something like that. Because I fully admit I hit it is with everything I got.
Right. Because you got to
And,
get it to the top, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're heavy. We're super heavy.
Yeah, when you're pulling a 5-axle, you know, you're anywhere 110 to 114,000 and things get real quick.
Yeah.
But I love the driver weight. So.
Well, in this clip, we're not going to mention any companies. We're
Okay.
not going to talk about any names, nobody specific.
Okay.
We're not going to talk about, pretty much, we don't want to throw anybody under the bus. This
That's
is
bad karma.
That's right. It
So
is.
then why?
Right.
That ain't my style.
Yeah. And in some cases, you know, really, they end up like clenching so bad that they learned a lesson, you know?
Right. Made him a better driver.
That's right. That's right. But
I've had quite a few of those.
so
Yeah.
we've got two clips we're going to look at,
Okay.
and we're going to talk about them.
All right.
This first clip, this driver was southbound. So here comes the first. This is southbound.
Yeah. So he's waiting to drop in.
So you're more than welcome to get around, I don't mind.
Oh! I'm just as guilty as anybody else. As you see, I run by myself a lot because I like to run my speed. I just like, you know, hit my marks. And sometimes I'll turn my big radio down, or I've had times where I'm talking on the big radio and people are squawking on the CB. I'll turn my CB down and keep talking on the big radio, then, you know, like on a company channel, and then I get done and I forget my CB's down.
Right.
I've done it tons of times. I don't really see where anybody's really at fault at that. That was just a bad situation where a bunch of guys were all clumped up.
It could have been a lot worse.
Oh, that could have been terrible. You know, back in the day when I first started, calling out was really big. And we've really gotten away from that. Honestly, about the only things I call out and during the daytime is Neuterwick, because I don't want to meet anybody there because the bridge is too narrow.
Yeah.
And the ice cut. If I'm laying at tour and I'm getting my run, you know, during the daytime you can't see headlights up there, but you might be able to see a truck come off the pipe crossing, and I'll call out northbound, you know, running for ice cut. But I don't always. If it's nighttime and I can see lights, you know, here's the deal. The calling out is a great thing, But if everybody's calling out everything, the radio, as many trucks are on that road right now, you know how plugged up the radio is going to be? Number one, it's a 2-lane road, okay? That
In
road,
most spots, yeah.
but that is a 2-lane road. A lot of people could drive with a little bit more courtesy.
In this case, it was a miscommunication, and I think what it comes down to after watching this video is you can be running with someone,
Right.
and you can get information and feedback on what's coming, but the reality is that you in your truck are the only one that's responsible.
You're
for
the
your
captain of the
safety.
ship.
Yes, and so in this case,
And the safety of the people around you.
right.
So
For viewers, roller coaster is a pretty steep downgrade, and then you come back up the other side.
yeah, it's crazy.
And it's narrow in the middle too. Like you're there and you're back up.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it goes down, flattens out, and then you start up the other side. You know, pretty
Sometimes
much.
I wonder, just like if I could get a side view of those long pipes. You see 115-foot long pipe, truck and trailer, what that would look like. Because the truck would be up on the other side where you've got the tail still on the other side in the back. Like, could you imagine that?
And you think about it, how many, we got what, 90-some tankers? And how many, like the trailer I pull out of Valdez, it's a 48-footer. Think about how many trips that tanker has went through the bottom of the roller coaster. And I know they go in and they do, pressure and thickness tests on those tankers and stuff every year, but it's got to take a toll on them, stress cracks and stuff on the frame. But we all do it. I mean, I love going through the roller coaster and not even dropping a gear. When I come up and, you got the 2 pullouts.
Right.
Once you come up get over Sand Hill, you're kind of cruising along, and roller coaster's right there. I look to see if I can see headlights. And then I kind of go over the top, probably about 15 miles an hour, because I have caught guys, they're coming up the other side,
Right.
and I don't want to drop in on them, you know?
Well, and there's that little spot down at the bottom where you really have to look.
Yeah, you
because
got to
it's
kind of get
steep.
over that where it kind of, because it kind of goes like that, and then it kind of drops. So
Yep.
once I make sure it's good, I just kind of let it go, and I drop off it in 7th direct, go to 7th direct to 8th over, and and generally I can get up the other side. I'm lugging, I'm down to like 1,300 RPMs, but I'm still an 8th over.
Yeah. Well, and that's like these southbounders in this video. They were
Right.
they were getting out.
Right.
They were getting out because I'm sure it'd be tough too, especially in those types of conditions. Like if you went slow,
Right.
yeah, you might as well get up and out of that.
Right. That was just a weird deal, it just, if there would have been an incident there, the driver in the back that was going around that stop truck, it'd have been their fault. They went the wrong lane. But to actually sit there and just, beat somebody down for that, it wasn't like they were driving recklessly and passed in a corner. The truck in front said, yeah, you can go by. And that's part of, to me, and it's not just the Hall Road. I mean, it's on the Parks Highway, the Rich, the Seward Highway, the Glen, any of the highways up here. Most of the time, truckers got to kind of work with each other. And I think we're kind of getting away from that because everybody's an individual. Thank God the cell phones hardly work on the Dalton. Because I'll tell you what, once they finally do get cell towers all the way up to Dalton, I bet you see the truck wrecks double. Because people are going to be whatever they do on their phone while they're driving because they're bored. Now everybody, I listen to podcasts. I got like 10 different podcasts I listen to. I listen to a lot of MMA podcasts. I love it. It just, Joe Rogan or whoever, because you're in a truck and you're obviously not getting the physical exercise you need, but at least you're getting like a mental exercise.
Right. I think, it's just really important to note that no matter what, you can have that communication.
Right. It's a good thing.
But numbers get crossed, conversations aren't relayed correctly, and ultimately it's up to you. You are the driver. All right, so we have kind of a unique situation with this one.
Okay.
This is actually your video footage that you sent to me.
Yep.
And you have a story behind this. Why don't you tell us what happened to get you to this point?
Okay. So I was This was I think it was 2016 or 17.
Okay.
I was leaving Prudhoe about 1 in the morning. It was a little breezy around Prudhoe, not that bad. And I was just kind of cruising along. I'm like, all right, I'll be back in Fairbanks by 10. I'll be Big Lake by 4 in the afternoon. It's going to be a good day, Mm-hmm. And a little breezy. So I get down past the ice cut, and the wind's really picking up. It was really bad, like around 120 dip and all that. And I wasn't meeting any northbound trucks. So I go by pump 4, and get up to the old Chandler camp, and the wind it's howling. And it was one of those deals where it was after we got a snow, so there was a lot of artillery laying around. It wasn't like all the snow was froze down and it's just blowing. There was a lot of fresh snow.
Right.
So I get into the canyon. The canyon's like, there was places it was 2 feet deep.
The canyon is at the bottom of the pass before you head up southbound.
Yeah, once you go past Chandler Camp, you go up, they call it the canyon. It's really, it kind of is a canyon, but the road's just like on the hillside there, and there's a guardrail, kind of. And then you drop in, and then you can make your run for the north side of the pass. So anyway, I get through there, and I'm kind of thinking, man, I really haven't met anybody. It's been like 3 hours. Maybe just one of those, just hit it just right.
It's a good morning.
Yeah, it's great. So I go up the pass, and I'm popping drifts, and it wasn't that bad. I didn't even have chains on, and I get up to the top, and I'm coming around the corner on the top, and it was like I drove into another world going around the top. It went from, it's windy and moving a little snow, to just complete vertigo. I'm dropping down the pass, and I'm taking it easy. I believe it or not, I did call out. I was like, southbound coming off the pass.
Well, you can't see.
Yeah, but the way my lights were, I could kind of catch the guardrail on the left, going down the south side. I'm looking, and you know how it messes with your eyes and stuff, and especially when it was blowing down the mountain and then hitting the road and like swirling. So the way it kind of carries, it's almost like you're going into it and it's corkscrewing the wind.
Like a vortex.
Yeah, it was weird. But it was cool. I'm just kind of coming down the hill, and all of a sudden, almost like a grenade went off in front of my truck, and the snow was shooting straight up in the air.
From the ground.
From the ground. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm looking, and then it just clicked. Avalanche. I hit the brakes, which everybody says don't hit the brakes, but I did. Truck started sliding. So I turned it into the guardrail because the way the snow was carrying, the wind was carrying the snow off the mountain to the guardrail, it had stacked up against the guardrail. So I just turned my truck into it, and
a little bit of cushion.
Yeah, so I was in the drift against the guardrail, and I hit the toe of the avalanche with my front bumper. So I'm sitting there, knees shaking, and I was like, did the, well, maybe I can back up kind of deal, empty with a tanker, put it in reverse, nothing, wouldn't even move. I tried, I sent an in-reach to my really good friend who's a driver. He didn't answer. In the time that I was sitting there trying to contact, another avalanche came down behind me. So now I'm stuck in between two avalanches, because I was like,
oh my goodness.
I was like, okay, I'm going to get out, throw a couple sets of 3-railers on. I'm going to back to the top of the hill, because I was nervous. I was like, I feel like I'm in a really, really bad situation here. So then I sent an in-reach to a dispatcher at another trucking company in Fairbanks, and he answered, because he always has his phone on because he's a dispatcher, and he called the state guys, and the state guys came up, to get me out. So I can see down there. I'm just below the waterfall, so you can see the road coming from Chandler Camp,
Yeah.
The state pickup comes around. I believe it was,
A friend.
And he's like, hey, is that Brian up there? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, did you get caught in an avalanche? I said, it came down in front of me, but I'm up against it and I can't move. I said, I was thinking about getting out and putting chains on and trying to back up the hill, but another one came down behind me. And he's like, do not get out of your truck.
Right.
Stay in your truck. And he was right.
Yeah.
I was kind of a little bit panicking because I felt like a sitting duck.
Well, I mean, you've never experienced it before. What do you do?
I drove through the avalanches, once they cut them and stuff.
they're all
but
cleared
it
out,
was so strange. But anyway, this video is so they sent 2 graders, a loader, and a blower up, and the grader could not get through the drift. It was like 8 feet deep, probably, well, I don't know, 60 feet long. It was a real wide avalanche, but it wasn't super deep because it had like carried right over the guardrail.
Oh, wow.
So what I saw
I'm
was
glad you
this.
stayed on this side of it, though.
Yeah, me too. What I saw was the snow hitting the guardrail and then bouncing back up. That's why I said it looked like the snow was shooting straight up in the air because it came down so fast. I think when it hit the road, it hit the guardrail, and some of it went over and some of it shot back. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So this is them. So I sat on the hill for, I don't know, 5 hours. I sat up there because it took them till 8 o'clock in the morning.
Was your truck still running?
Oh yeah, I was fine.
Okay,
I was
everything was good there.
Yeah, I was listening to podcasts and filming and.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Well, let's watch this video.
And here he comes in for pass number 2.
I'm going to turn the volume.
Okay. So if you watch
You guys
this,
probably can't tell, but this avalanche.
you can't see, but I'm in the
It's actually a
cab,
lot bigger than what
and
I
as
thought it
as soon as I can see him waving at me, I'm telling him how close to get to my truck.
Because you were buried.
No, I wasn't buried. I was smashed into it,
Oh, my gosh.
and it didn't break a light, didn't bend a bumper.
Oh, my goodness,
It was-
you lucky dog.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think because it hadn't packed in. But as you can look at it, you can see the blades whirling on the blower as and I'm right here. I'm like, come on, come on, come on, and then telling him to stop, and then he backs off. Yeah, it was crazy. It was, and hats off to the state, man. The help that they give all the drivers up there. When it comes to stuff like this, it was just so awesome, you know. So now check this out. So after they get me dug out, I'm southbound again. I'm meeting everybody, everybody, and I'm like, hey, you guys. I had an avalanche come down on me this morning. It ain't looking good up there. It's snowing. It's blowing like crazy, and it's getting warm. Be careful when you get to the pass. That night, 5 of them got caught in an avalanche. A friend of ours was videoing,
Right.
and the avalanche buried the tanker in front of him. And then another truck got buried, and then there was people in between them, and they were all stuck up there for like a day.
Oh, my goodness.
So that all happened that same night. Basically, through the day, as it got warmer and blew and loaded more snow, the whole mountainside just gave up. I think the pass was closed for because it was open after they cleaned the one out for me, and then the road opened back up, and then all them guys were northbound, and basically the whole mountain came down.
Oh,
So.
my goodness. All right, so we have now a question from a viewer.
Okay.
And this one, you probably know a lot more about the systems than I do, and I know you have a different setup than I do as far as trucks go.
Right.
But this is about death. Northern Trucker asked, he said, is your truck deleted? Which I can neither confirm nor deny whether any trucks are deleted. Right?
Yeah, my truck, personally, is not deleted. My truck is a glider. My truck was bought before the EPA rules got pushed through on glider trucks.
Yeah.
So the company we worked for bought a lot of them. My truck is a 2015 389 with a pre-emission 6NZ cat in it. It's totally legal, but it's you've drove it. It's a monster.
That's a good
It's a good running truck. It's not any better than any other 550 out there, but it's just a good solid truck, and I love the fact that I'm not chasing DPF issues or sensor issues or catalyst issues or dozer nozzles or on and on and on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know all about that stuff, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. My truck is not deleted.
My truck is not deleted either. It was built as a glider,
Right.
so it's totally legal.
Right, it's totally legal. Continuing the question, is your truck deleted? If not, How do you keep the depth from freezing up there?
Okay, after you get below 0, I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if it's 5 below, 10 below, 6 below, 7 below. They will quit pumping DEF. Okay?
We were just talking about this
Right.
last trip.
So it's not so much because the DEF tanks will have heaters on them. It's the lines between the DEF tanks and the engine.
Interesting.
So once you get to like the truck I had at the other company I worked for before this, it had a 600 ISX in it. That thing would faithfully, on a trip to Prudhoe, burn 17 gallons of DEF every trip. That's what it burned.
Wow.
I had a 34-gallon DEF tank, 17 gallons every trip. That's what it burned. Once it got down to about 510 below, that thing wouldn't burn a drop. So there must be something in the programming and the ECM where it just does not, once it goes off ambient air temperature or something,
Right.
and it just quits injecting DEF because it knows it's going to freeze. But I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about DEF and all that stuff. And, since I've been with this company, they've offered me multiple trucks because I have a flat top sleeper and I'm tall.
Flat top mafia.
Yeah.
Right here.
And so they've offered me a lot of trucks with stand-up sleepers and 2 brand new ones. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think of my truck like I think of my wife. I'm sticking with the girl I brought to the dance.
Yeah.
And I started out in that truck. I've got almost 130,000 miles on it. It does not break down. It's dependable. I like to run a lot because I don't live up here anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm a gypsy. So I just think for the way I like to run, and all I do in the sleeper is sleep anyway. It's not like I'm back there square dancing. So
Right.
Would it be nice to have some more cabinets and stuff? It'd be awesome. But honestly, Tiffany, by the time I get to my sleeper, all I'm thinking about is attacking my pillow.
The pillow. Yeah, that's it.
I'm just wiped out. But yeah, I love my truck, and I wish they could build them again.
Thank you, Brian, for coming over.
You're welcome.
You got to be up super early. You're heading down to Valdez.
Yeah, I got 4 trips out of Valdez to do, and I haven't seen my wife in over a month, and she is flying in Thursday to spend the weekend with me. I want to say one other thing, Karen.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
All the companies are looking for drivers right now. It's almost like they're going to have to build the next generation of drivers, because come on, just not a lot of people are signing up to be a truck driver. It's almost like looked on as something you do if you can't find something else to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
For any of your listeners or anything that are actually thinking about getting into this industry, this is just Brian's opinion. If you truly want to be a good driver, you need to know how to fix your own truck. I'm not saying you got to be like a Cummins tech or a Detroit tech, but
Right.
you need to be able to get underneath your truck and shake drive lines, look at U-joints, look at bushings, look at shocks, look for oil leaks, antifreeze and leaks, or whatever. You get familiar with your truck. It's going to make you a better driver. Trucks are a lot easier to fix in the shop than when it's 45 below on the side of the road.
Right.
And nobody needs to start on the haul road. And I say that knowing that every person on the haul road had a first trip.
Yeah.
Even the guys that have been doing this, I've been on the haul road a long time, but I haven't been consistent. I've been on and off that road for 31 years. There's guys that were running the haul road then, they're still running it. They probably got 10 times the trips I do up there.
Right.
I maybe have 1,000, maybe. Maybe more, maybe less, I don't know. There's probably guys on that road right now that got 10, 15,000 trips.
Still 1 million miles.
Oh, way more than 1 million. But you know what? The ones that are successful, they know how to fix their trucks. They're the guys that can do wheel seals. They're the guys that can change a U-joint. Here's my 3 things to tell people. Learn your truck. Learn the equipment you got underneath you. Learn because you have to depend on it.
Right.
Okay? After that.
It's an extension of you.
It is, and you want to know that you can trust your truck. Drop off every hill like somebody's burned out in the hill and got the road blocked. go around every corner like somebody's in your lane. If you do that and drive like that, I really think you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know, and if you screw up and you toss a rock at somebody or throw some snow at them or you crowd them in a corner, be a man or a woman and get on the radio and say, hey, I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Own up to it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and if you have questions for some fellow drivers, put them in the comment section below. We want to read them, hear
Okay.
about them.
Yeah.
If you love seeing Alaska, don't forget to hit that like button and share with your friends.